Courtney, it's so hard to get hold of you these days. I haven't seen you for a year.
Are we live?
Yeah, of course. We're always live. Okay. You're always happy. That's why we've got the old goal thing going back on. So this is the unshaved, completely unshaved look now. I think you're going for that, keeping that look.
Yeah, apparently you look more trustworthy when you are clean shaven.
Very good. I wonder if that's. I think we're both going for the same look. But it's good to have you here. We're going to get straight into SMEs. That's the whole topic. You're an SME. I mean, what is an SME? Let's start right there.
Essentially, you're a small business, small to medium-sized business, and there is a complete big gap between small to medium-sized businesses and sort of large corporate companies. There's a massive scale gap between the two.
Yeah. Well, you said the term small to SME, small, medium, enterprise, I think. That's
Yeah.
And what's the other way? What's the other way? You've been through the whole spectrum. You started off as a solopreneur, entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What is the definition of an entrepreneur, solo person versus where you are now in your business? What's the distinction?
So you're talking like from like a sole trader perspective?
Yeah. What's the difference?
Sole trader is just a guy or a woman who is going out and effectively grafting and working and hustling for themselves. And everything that they're doing is for themselves, and they are trading at a reasonable sort of size, and they're wearing many hats. They're doing a lot. They're probably doing the invoicing. They're doing the work themselves. They're doing the marketing. They're doing their sales, and they're on the tools or whatever job they may be.
Are you sneaking up on my house? It sounds like you just read my mind there. That's kind of, you just described me to a T there. I mean, so you're an SME.
Yeah, technically. I think. Do you know what? I actually need to double check this, but I think anything under 25 million you classed as a small business. I think it's after 25 million.
Yeah, and that's you kind of moving into sort of almost corporate, really, or sort of, don't know what the term is. Maybe it's in a stage in between. Do you remember? I was asking you before we started if you can recall the point where you crossed over from being a solo entrepreneur, doing everything, invoicing, marketing, the clean, you're physically doing the cleaning, to now. I mean, I don't think you go out and do you're more in the office based, manage.
And I'm site based.
Okay.
So I go out and I see a lot of our clients and have a look up on works that we're doing. I do like to see my team as well. So if they're out and they're doing something, I like to meet up with them, see them, and I like to see the client. I like to kind of stay at ground level, but I am office based and at site level as well. And I'll do like a lot of quotations and surveys and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, when was the point? You seem quite relaxed with it, and obviously you've been doing it a while.
Yeah.
When was the point you crossed over from, being a solo entrepreneur? Do you remember when that was? Was it like, right, I'm going to establish myself here and I'm tired of doing everything?
I don't think I have crossed over in theory because there's still a lot of things that I do. But when you say crossover, I would like to maybe refer to it as maybe offsetting some responsibilities.
Right.
So I think it's a transitional thing. There might be 7 hats that you wear, and then you may only wear 6 because you put another hat on somebody else's head, and then you may reduce that down to 5 or 4, 3. So I don't think there's a distinctive line where you was doing this and then now you're not doing it.
Right, that's a good point. I think
it's more like responsibilities you start to offset.
Yeah, because it sounds great now looking at you. You have all the trappings of the office and the car, and you mentioned team, and you site. These are all alien words to kind of solopreneurs. But we're here, SMEs. I mean, what is sort of the biggest challenge, perhaps, for you and other people in your sphere for SMEs at the moment? Is it staff? Is it cash flow? Is it, what sort of comes to mind?
I mean, I think you've got to have the right mentality, because it is really, really tough when you're starting off. And if you're sort of like a sort of micro-sized small business, it is very, very tough. And you have to just keep going. And it's quite easy for you to be quite fragile or just think, this isn't working. I need to go. And then, do you know what? I don't think it's for everybody. Some people say they want to do it, and then when it really gets tough, that don't want to do it. So it's not for everyone, and there's nothing wrong with it not being for everyone. At least that person's tried and worked out it's not for everyone. So I'd say mindset and attitude and mentality is probably the toughest thing that you need to grasp. And then you kind of need to learn as you're moving forward. You can read all the books, you can watch all the YouTube videos, you can look at all the TikToks or go to all the seminars, but I think growth comes from experience, and you've got to go through it. You've got to go through these sort of pain processes yourself.
As you say, it's a mindset, it's a catch-22. I mean, you seem quite relaxed now, and I always look up to you. It terrifies me. What
Look
you
up to me?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, it's the responsibility you have for staff, and I mean, I don't know how you manage, but as you said, doing what you do now, having gone through that process of all
Still
the trials,
going through processes.
still going through it.
Yeah.
Would you have done it if you could see the future? Would you think, you know what?
That's actually a really good question. I think looking back, I probably would have studied harder and learned something where I was a specialist and my skill was acquired for a lot of money, like a heart surgeon or a plastic surgeon or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because in retrospective, looking back, there is a lot of work what needs to be done in order for you to get to where you essentially want to be and where you want to go as well. Like, there's so much more work that I need to do to get to where I want to be. And I don't know, I think with some responsibilities and pressures in life, as I get older, I start to kind of realise what is more valuable than my values have changed, should I say.
Well, it's obvious. Well, what has changed? Obviously, what was it you were seeking before? Was it sort of money, the status, or security?
You want financial security.
Yeah, that's obvious.
I mean, when you're going back, I've started C4 when I was sort of 23 years old, and my mentality, my personality, my goals, my dreams are not the same. I'm going to be turning 40 this year. So all of those elements have developed and changed over time.
Yep.
So what I thought was important back then is not what I think is important right now.
Yeah, so that's the question. How have your values changed? What has
time
changed?
I mean, as you get older, more people pass away. You have children, you watch your children grow. You can't reverse back time. It's been so many times I've missed out on stuff with my children and my family. There's a lot of things come down to things what money can't really buy as well. And I don't really want that to sound too cliche, but at the same time, you can't reverse back time. There's no currency for that. I guess maybe ego as well. When I was younger, my ego I felt was quite bigger. I was probably a bit more shallow, probably a bit more materialistic. And a lot of the stuff that I used to buy back then, I don't buy now. So I think my personality has changed as I've got older, but then your business, my goals for my business are still quite driven. So when your personality changes, but your drive for your business is still where it probably was when you was in your younger years, it's quite difficult for you to navigate the transition in yourself, but you're still trying to get to the same sort of destination.
Yeah, it's deep. It's almost like you've got two. You got the business has got one track, and then you personally have another track. You got somehow, and they're changing. Business demands change. You change, and you got somehow. I mean, what keeps you going? What motivates you? Still said you still have challenges, still going through stuff. What motivates you to get up? Why not just have the simple life? And
I can't turn back now, can I?
Why not?
I'd be unemployable.
That's it.
Yeah. I'd be unemployable, and I don't think I would want to be in that position as well, because everything, even when something goes wrong, not too wrong, but when something goes wrong, it's still quite exciting to work out how you're gonna overcome this sort of situation. And when something goes right, it's that feeling of when something goes right. It's like an amazing feeling. I suppose being excited for waking up and coming into C4 is that you just don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. I actually just got off the phone to someone today and we was working on it wasn't really an official tender. Actually, I'd say it was more of an official tender. And he's like, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to let you know that we're going to have to pick this up next year. You haven't really been successful because, procurement want to stick with incumbents. And so it's not news that I want to hear, but I'm still kind of excited because I think to myself, I've got a really decent relationship with this client or prospect. And I know that I've got to touch base with him at the end of the year. I'm excited to know what that could potentially look like. The contract could be bigger than what we even tendered for. So even that, it's like bad news.
Yeah.
It is officially bad news, but it's still opportunity there.
Yes. I wonder if that's it. Entrepreneurs, you're very entrepreneurial, but by definition, you have to have that attitude to go through the pain. A question I want to ask you, we're going to finish up. It's only a very short one today. We'll have a fuller catch-up. But, what keeps you calm? Because I'm going through, I think I told you that I get stressed and, I've got a lot going on and a lot of opportunities, but then something bad happens and then the same something good happens and then something kicks off in my personal life. Someone passes away, and it's a real plays with your mind. I remember you telling me something like this where you were like, having to, calm yourself down somehow. How do you manage that roller coaster of business, personal life, plan? I don't know. I'm struggling with it. I mean, any tips for me, I guess?
Do you know what it is? I think it comes down to everyone's personality. It is what prescribes for me doesn't necessarily work for you. And I honestly don't know if I could give you a clear answer on that. Because...
Well, what works for you? You seem to calm down. Well, you seem calm.
No, I don't actually. I panic.
That's honest.
I do.
That's honest of you.
I do. I panic. I call people or text or have a look online or whatever the situation may be. Communicate, I think, is probably the best way of sort of sharing the experience and getting advice or validation or whatever that may be. But I do generally like to talk a lot. I think sometimes when you keep a lot of noise in your head, it's quite difficult for you to sound out the sense from it.
Yeah. No, good. That's a good one. I think that is the key, is to sort of, I think I get that when I speak to a lot of business people. They're all the same. They have the same issues. We think somehow, and you have, you've met sort of millionaires and beyond.
I think I panic as well because I want it to be right. I want it to be perfect. I don't like getting things wrong.
No,
I don't like losing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if you was just really sort of like nonchalant and not really that bothered and, I'll just go for a walk or, something happens, I'll just take a sleep and wake up. And that doesn't work for me because it's like in my mind, it's like I want immediate action. I want about to fix it. I want about to replace whatever's happened. I want my reputation to be very strong. I always say to my clients as well, don't rate us on when we're doing something well. Rate us when something bad happens and then how we react and deliver a service after that, because then that's when you kind of get the real understanding of someone's values or someone's culture or whatever that may be. So I think there's a degree of sort of stress what is attached to me because I want to get it right. I want about to deliver. I want about to satisfy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You're quite community-minded and trying to, you'd like to encourage the younger. You're relatively young, and you've kind of done it off your own back. You haven't had mummy and daddy and financial or business support. You seem to have kind of done it yourself. I know you're big on supporting local, and you're local to Croydon as well. What encouragement could you give to young entrepreneurs or someone who's thinking or even struggling, maybe 1-2 steps behind you?
Just keep going. Do you know what? I hate being cliche, but do you know what? Sometimes some of these cliche things are really relevant as well, because there is no shortcut or say, look, do you know what? If you used to do this, you'd make it. You might not make it, but in my experiences, is consistency usually fixes anything. Even if you was going door knocking and you knocked on 100 doors. And you asked every single one of them, could I have £1, for example? If you stop after 10 doors and everyone said no, then you'll probably quit and that your business would fail. If that was your business, for example, your business would fail. But if you woke up every day and say, I'm going to knock on this 100 doors, and then the next day I'm going to knock on these 100 doors, and the next time someone would give it to you. Do you know what I mean? And you might not even be fantastic at sales. It's just repetition and consistency. And I think a lot of the time people think that you have to be an absolute expert, or you have to have done some sort of theory, or you've had to do some sort of school education in order for you to do it. Yeah, I mean, you see in some professions there is a degree of education involved, but if we're talking about sort of businesses which I've been successful in, then I would say consistency and just sort of turning up and trying. You haven't even got to try your best every day. You just got to like be there. You just got to make sure your phone's on and make sure you've got your emails open. You know, you might not even like, some people just hold back from because their grammar's poor. Do you know what I mean? I don't really want to do it, or it takes them an hour to do something because they're worried about their grammar. Just ping off the email, pick up the phone or call them or whatever it is, but just keep going.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's the best advice. Got to do. You always see that at the end of your interviews. Thanks, Courtney.
That's right, man.